This story is a work of fiction compiled from fabricated memos, emails, and testimonies for entertainment purposes. July 14th, 2011, 2:17 a.m. Central European Time. We are deep beneath the Franco-Swiss border inside the CMS control room at Point 5, Cessy, France. The air hums with the quiet power of the Large Hadron Collider, a 17-mile ring of superconducting magnets. Dr. Elena Vasquez, a brilliant 34-year-old particle physicist on loan from Caltech, found her gaze locked on monitor 7. The waveform displayed there was, to put it mildly, impossible. A sharp, aggressive spike that dwarfed everything else on the screen, 14.2 tera-electron volts. It was double the energy the beam was designed to handle, double what was considered the absolute maximum. An anomaly of this magnitude shouldn't just be a glitch. It should have triggered every alarm, shut down the entire system, and possibly caused a catastrophic quench. But it hadn't. The system hummed along as if nothing had happened. Elena leaned closer, her heart beginning to hammer against her ribs. She called over to her shift supervisor, Dr. Ben Carter, a seasoned physicist with 2 decades of experience at CERN. "Ben, you need to see this." He ambled over, a half-empty coffee mug in hand, a skeptical look on his face. He'd seen 1,000 false positives, 1,000,000 digital ghosts. But when he saw the reading, the mug clattered from his hand, spilling lukewarm coffee across the console floor. "What in the world?" he whispered. It was a phantom, a ghost in the machine that defied the laws of physics as they understood them. For a few frantic minutes, they ran diagnostics. Every system reported nominal status. The beam was stable at 70 eV. The spike on Elena's monitor was the only evidence that anything had gone wrong. Elena saved the data, flagging it for immediate review. It felt significant, like the first tremor before an earthquake. They documented the event in the shift log, labeling it unexplained energy fluctuation, a term so sterile it felt like a lie. They didn't know it yet, but they had just recorded the first entry in what would become known to a select few as the hidden ledger. A week passed. The incident was discussed in hushed tones in the cafeteria and dismissed by senior management as a sensor malfunction, a one-off error. Elena couldn't let it go. She reran simulations, pored over calibration data, trying to find a mundane explanation. Nothing fit. Then, on July 21st, it happened again. This time in the Atlas detector control room. Dr. Kenji Tanaka, a quiet, meticulous researcher from Kyoto University, noted a similar spike, 16.1 TeV. Again, no alarms. No system failures. Just a silent, impossible surge of energy that vanished as quickly as it appeared. He emailed Elena, attaching his data. Her blood ran cold. The patterns were eerily similar, yet the energy level was higher. It wasn't a random glitch. This was a progression. Over the next 6 months, the occurrences became more frequent and more powerful. 8 TeV, 21 TeV. Each event was logged by a small clandestine group of physicists who had started to share their findings outside of official channels. They called themselves the Watchers. They communicated through encrypted emails, convinced that something fundamental was happening within the LHC, something that management was either unaware of or, more frighteningly, willfully ignoring. Their secret ledger grew. Each entry was a breadcrumb, leading them deeper into a mystery that felt less like physics and more like science fiction. The atmosphere at CERN began to change. An undercurrent of unease rippled through the labs. People started noticing small, strange things. Clocks in certain sectors would run a few seconds fast. Sensitive electronics would flicker and fail for no apparent reason. And then there were the whispers about the night shifts in the deepest parts of the tunnel. Technicians started reporting feelings of disorientation, momentary memory lapses, and a persistent sense of being watched. These were dismissed as fatigue, the effects of working underground in a high-energy environment. But the reports were consistent. One technician, a man named Jean-Pierre, swore he saw a shimmer in the air near one of the beam injection points, like heat haze on a summer road, but it was freezing cold in the tunnel. He was placed on mandatory leave for stress-related issues. The official narrative was clear. Everything is normal. But the Watchers knew better. The energy spikes in their hidden ledger were getting stronger, and now the physical world around the collider seemed to be warping in response. Elena became obsessed. She barely slept, her life revolving around the collider's schedule and the secret data stream from her fellow Watchers. The breaking point came on February 3rd, 2012, a date that is seared into the memory of every person who was there. During a planned maintenance shutdown, a 3-person team was sent to Sector 3 to 4 to inspect a series of cryogenic modules. The team consisted of lead engineer Marcus Schmidt and 2 junior technicians, Chloe Dubois and Liam O'Connell. It was a routine check, something they'd done 100 times. They signed in at 10 p.m. They were due to report back at 2 a.m. They never did. At 2:05 a.m., when they missed their first check-in, the control room tried to reach them. There was only static. At 2:30 a.m., a search party was dispatched. What they found was nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean literally nothing. Marcus, Chloe, and Liam were gone. Their tools lay on the floor where they'd been working. A half-eaten sandwich sat on a control panel. Even the carbon dioxide from their breath had vanished from the air quality sensors. It was as if they had been erased from existence. But there was one thing left behind. On a nearby diagnostic monitor, which should have been offline, a single waveform was frozen on the screen. Elena was called in. As soon as she saw it, she knew. It was another spike, but this one was off the charts. The data was corrupted, but she could extrapolate. The energy level was estimated to be over 100 TeV, an astronomical figure. An impossible number, the energy required to simply unmake matter. The official story was a tragic accident, a coolant leak, 3 brave souls lost in the line of duty. A memorial was held. Their families were told a carefully constructed story. CERN went into a total information lockdown, but the Watchers knew the truth, or at least they knew the lie. The data from that night was the final, terrifying entry in their hidden ledger. The vanishing shift, as it came to be known, was not an accident. It was an effect. The energy spikes were the cause. The LHC wasn't just smashing particles. It was doing something else. It was thinning the veil of our reality. The spikes were moments when something pushed through, or perhaps when something was pulled in. Elena Vasquez, Ben Carter, Kenji Tanaka, and the others, they were terrified. They had stared into an abyss, and the abyss had taken 3 of their colleagues. Leaked internal memos from the days following the incident, which we have acquired, show a frantic, panicked response from CERN's highest levels. Discussions of a containment protocol, mentions of an unforeseen dimensional side effect. It is clear they knew, or at least suspected, the horrifying truth. The LHC was a key, and it was unlocking a door they never intended to open. The story you've heard is the one pieced together from these fragments, from the hushed testimonies of those who dared to speak. Elena Vasquez resigned from CERN 2 months later, citing personal reasons. She has never spoken publicly about these events. The hidden ledger was supposedly destroyed, but copies like this story persist. The Large Hadron Collider was shut down for upgrades shortly after, upgrades that took over 2 years. When it was turned back on, the energy levels were higher than ever. Officially, there have been no more unexplained energy fluctuations, no more strange occurrences, no more vanishing personnel. But those who know, the original watchers, they still watch. They know that every time those protons race through that 17-mile ring, we are rolling the dice. We are knocking on a door in the dark, and we still have no idea what is on the other side. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. What do you think really happened during the vanishing shift? Let me know your theories in the comments below. If you found this chronicle as chilling and fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.